Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This is a how to build on Roxy. Yes, I'm on my second account because of course I do not have Roxy on my main account because why would I have Roxy on my main account? But we're going to how to build for her. We're going to go over some good things and a few slight bad things with her, but mainly everything is good, and of course how to build her in general. So first we're going to look at her substats. Pierce rate very high, resistance average, crit chance doesn't really matter because of her passive. Crit damage is actually very good. If you mix that with a Relic, it's going to be absurd. Crit resistance is on the little bit of the lower side. Crit defense is on the average. Lifesteal's very high for a human without all the outfits. And recovery rate, once again, doesn't really matter. Skills, she has a first skill, which is a Flood skill, which is very powerful. Flood is the skill which, of course, the Ultimate one has, the one has. You know, all these very strong characters have Flood skills. Flood is a very powerful skill. And it's just, in general, just super busted. Freya has it as well. Spike AoE, which would actually be very bad because the multiplier is, of course, very, very low. But because of Roxy's passive, which gives her an insane amount of crit chance, this AoE is probably the most deadliest thing, deadliest AoE in the game. Apart from like tier AoE weak point, because weak point's like a whole nother level of busted. And then her ultimate, which is Sever, which in my opinion is another one of those ults which are kind of a little bit overkill. They just didn't know what effect to give us. They just gave us Sever for the sake of it. Once again, her passive gives her an absurd amount of crit chance. She's really not going to need Sever. They could have given us something else. But it does actually have a super high multiplier. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same ultimate and the exact same multiplier as Red Sariel. I can probably check. Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, pretty sure that's the same multiplier. Actually, no, that's the same multiplier as Blue Margaret. So yeah, it's the same multiplier. Very powerful. Also, her ult scales her Grace as well, or Unity, starting at 3 for like 1/6, all the way up to 10% for 6/6, which is very good. Very busted. Then her passive, which is like her key thing, her big, I can say her main asset is her passive, which is increase the hero's crit chance by 40% for each human ally on the battlefield. This does include herself. If a critical hit occurs from a human ally's single target attack, inflicts additional damage equal to 300% of the hero's initial attack. So, of course, only once per skill as well. That means like Roxy's Sever skill hits multiple times. It won't do multiple death damages, so to say, because that's what I'm going to refer to it as. But so it's this base attack, the hero's initial attack. What this means is, let me just show you a team. Of course, it's my second account, so please have mercy on me. That stat there is the initial attack. So it does take into consideration your link, so your association link here, as well as the stats you have on your character themselves. Any other additional stats, so for example, her Unity at 6/6, doesn't matter from 1/6 to 6/6, it will not give you any extra attack because it counts as like a buff sort of thing that immediately applies. So you don't really have to worry about having her 6/6 get the most out of her passive, but what you do have to have, once again, is because it's based off her attack, 300% of attack, or just 3 times her attack, just to make it a little bit more simple for some people. You need very good attack rate gear for her. Like, I'm talking perfect gear, yes, sorry, some of my gear is absolutely horrible on her. I have, like, basically no resources on this account, but I'm getting there, it's half decent, you know? But, yeah, that's just how it is, unfortunately. But attack rate down 100%. There's no other gear set you can run Roxy. HP defense, not even worth it. If you're not running attack rate down on Roxy, you are wasting Roxy's potential. Her main thing is sort of to have super high attacks. That means when any of her allies crit, or if she crits, she's able to dish out insane amount of death damage. Even if that death damage is actually more damage than her actual skill, it is worth it because that death damage can definitely make a difference, especially if you're versing Demon King. You know, you got the Ultimate one, you get basically 2 death damages, which is an absurd thing. So 50% damage cap, you know, insane amount of damage from Roxy. Then Escanor's 30% damage as well. Big damage, really easy to kill things. And she is really, in my opinion, the key part of the humans team, of course not including LR Escanor. She is the second in command to the humans team. Yes, you have Transcendent Barn, but Transcendent Barn is okay but requires dupes. Roxy doesn't require dupes, but she does require you know, investment in terms of weapons, relic, all that kind of stuff. Of course, I don't have a relic on this account because unfortunately it's a Nidhogg relic, but of course I will be going over it when we go to outfits in a second. So now going on to outfits, you actually have, of course, her 5 actual, like, normal, cool outfits. Each one of them gives crit defense, apart from the first one. But all her outfits are really sick. This is my favorite one by a mile. I just think it looks really cool and it suits her. Second favorite one, this one, and I'm not really the biggest fan of this one. Weapons-wise, this is where the real problem with Roxy is you do have to buy her weapons. If you want to get the most out of your Roxy, you do have to buy all her weapons. Because, of course, that increases her base attack, and buying a weapon, you know, then you get the bonuses from the gear, get your attack even higher. That's what you need. Unfortunately, you will need to buy all her weapons to get the most use you possibly could out of her. You don't have to, and if you don't really want to, you don't have to, but of course, every weapon is 210 attack, plus, you know, you've got your gear bonuses, all that kind of stuff. You're missing at least 630 attack per weapon without gear bonuses. If you add gear bonuses in that, you know, you're talking about 50% extra, so a lot. Let's just say a lot. You're missing about 915 attack, or 915 damage per a weapon, which is quite a bit and can stack, especially, you know, ungeared as well. It'll make, once again, a lot more of an impact than geared. But she's overall a very busted character. Cosmetics-wise, don't really matter. You can get 5 straight away, and of course with the weapon, I forgot to mention, either you would have to buy the Hawk Pass one, which came out quite a while ago, or you'd have to buy the seasonal one, which came out. I'm pretty sure she had a summer outfit, and we are going to be getting a Christmas Roxy, so of course there'll be a Christmas Roxy weapon if you are interested in going for the Christmas Roxy. Cosmetics-wise, there will be a Christmas Roxy cosmetic because they always have a custom cosmetic as well as outfit, as well as weapons. So it's immediately quite a lot of cosmetics for you if you don't want to buy them, but you are thinking of getting Christmas Roxy, of course. But overall, her headgears don't really matter. Her main thing you do really want to focus on, of course, if you do really want to use Roxy to her most potential, is definitely the weapons. And I'll keep staying at the weapons are the most. If you had to pick between which 3 categories you want to focus on, definitely weapons. Relic as well, unfortunately, because she is Nidhogg, it is quite restricted on, you know, a newer player. Like, for example, the account I'm currently playing on definitely could not get her Relic, because you need to do Nidhogg for it, which is the cringe part. But her Relic itself is actually really good, which is increased the hero's basic stats by 3% and crit damage by 30% for each human ally in battle. So what this basically means is if it's 3-man up, you get 9% extra crit damage plus 9% extra basic stats. And if you're doing 4-man up, you're doing some sort of PvE content, you're getting 120% extra crit damage and 12% basic stats. The basic stat bit is on the lower end, but I see why they did it like that, because giving her any more basic stats would be an absurd, like it'd be very broken, and she does need a little bit of basic stats because she is a little sloppy in terms of, if you don't have all her outfits, she's going to be a little bit of a weak punching bag and quite an easy target to take out because she doesn't have the best crit resistance and crit defense. But her relic stats themselves, absurd. 600 attack, this is before you get your gear bonuses and all that kind of stuff. That's a lot. That's immediately 1,800 damage. Straight away, that's 1,800 damage, which is a lot. Plus, then you've got the defense. 300 defense is quite good, especially for a very squishy character like Roxy. You know, and very high HP as well, 3.3k. It's a very large amount of HP to get. So overall, this relic, if you're going to get Roxy, let's just say you're like my main account where it's like, you're near the end game, and you get Roxy, 100% you want to prioritize her Relic. Because Roxy with Relic and without Relic are 2 completely different creatures. Because Roxy without Relic, she will do little bits, she'll do chip damage, and the main bits of her damage will come from her AoE doing insane amounts of damage, her ult doing good damage, or the actual death damage from her critting, not her actual flood card itself. But when you get her Relic, you then see that every single bit of her does an absurd amount of damage. You know, her flood card is now doing absurd damage. You know, you're just melting people left, right, and center because your ability to crit and hit much harder. Of course, you're running crit down gear as well. Say an extra 30% crit damage. It's quite high with a flood skill. You're going to be hitting really hard. But overall, Roxy is probably one of the best catastrophes, or the best, I'm going to say, she's the best catastrophe in the game. 100% hands down, she's the best in the game. Because she is so terrifying by herself. I target her whenever I can. Immediately, she's the first person I target whenever I see a human team, because I know if I kill her, I can remove damage from every other person, normally Transcendent Barn and LRS. You can remove damage from those 2 by removing Roxy first. And then Roxy becomes less terrifying, because she's dead. But yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next one. Goodbye.